Pastor A.T. Pierson once said, "There has never been a spiritual awakening in any country or locality that did not begin in united prayer." That truth was perhaps never more evident than during what's known as the prayer revival of the late 1850s. As the Second Great Awakening began to wane in the 1840s and 50s, sin and lawlessness once again became the order of the day in America. Preoccupied with growing wealth, most people had redefined their priorities and left God out of the picture. Sound familiar? Spiritual apathy in the church was reflected in the culture as the nation's morals were in serious decline. One source says that sexual promiscuity was so rampant that the number of abortions became epidemic. In fact, during that time, more abortions were performed than any time in American history right up to the modern era. But then, in 1857, Jeremiah Lanphier, a former businessman turned church outreach director, decided to pray that God would change the hearts of the people. On September 23rd, he began a noontime prayer meeting in New York City. The first week, only 6 people showed up, but he persevered. Then the stock market crashed, and suddenly a spiritual hunger was pervasive, and crowds began to flood the prayer meetings in New York City. Soon, an estimated 10,000 people were meeting daily for prayer in New York City, and it didn't stop there. Prayer meetings sprang up across the East Coast and westward to Philadelphia, Cleveland, Chicago, Louisville, and as far away as California, businessmen were closing their shop doors at noontime to cry out to God in prayer. It is said that 50,000 people a week were being converted, and by some estimates, up to 1 million new converts came into the church during that time. The one missing element in this revival that separates it from others is the presence of one or more prominent preachers. However, that just goes to prove that when the people of God cry out to Him in prayer, and the Holy Spirit is on the move in His church, the revival fires begin to burn, causing critical course corrections.